Assalamualaikum everyone. Welcome to our Celpad Research Unit training series 1. Yeah, so let's start the session, all right, with Al-Fatiha. All right. Celpad Research Unit is very happy to have you here today. I'm Suhaila, all right, the moderator today, okay, representing Celpad Research Unit. And we have our respected Assistant Professor Dr. Farida Abdul Malik, yeah, and she will be giving a presentation today entitled Writing a Research Article for Celpad. So our presenter today, all right, is our own director. She has been teaching over 30 years. She has taught all levels of proficiency classes, as well as EAW, EOP courses at Celpad, and also at several other universities. Her research interests include the teaching of listening and oral communication skills. Her other interests include metacognition, grammar teaching methodology, and second language acquisition. Okay, not only that, Dr. Farida also taught research methodology and the teaching of speaking and listening courses for the TESOL program. She has held many positions in Celpad and is currently the director of Celpad. So without further ado, I will call upon our own assistant prof, Dr. Farida, to share with us her tips on writing a research paper for Celpad. We welcome Dr. Farida. Tafaddal mashkuro.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Swahila. All right, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And I am very happy to be sharing with you, my experiences about writing a research paper. But before I proceed with the rest of the presentation, perhaps, I just want to tell you that this presentation is going to be pitched at very low. Okay, so if you have had your PhD, if you have done your masters, and if you have taught the EAW, the old course before, when you get your students to do your research paper, then maybe you would have known whatever that is going to be presented to you today. Yeah, so if you belong in that category, if you want to leave the session, you are most welcome to do so, because you may find it very boring because you know most of it already. Yeah, but but since Sister Swahila has approached me, to kickstart our webinar series, so I said, okay, never mind. Perhaps there are still people among Celpad staff, who are thinking about getting promotions, and have never written a paper before, and perhaps whatever that I'm going to share with you today may be useful. Yeah. So please forgive me if I'm not going to be condescending, okay? But I think I will start very slowly, and that is the understanding of the research union as well, because in the spirit of encouraging people who have never written to write, because it's good for your merit promotion and things like that, and that is the reason why we are having this session, yeah, to kickstart the webinar series under research unit. Yeah. Okay. So we can start with that mukadimah. Maybe we can proceed with the first slide. Okay. Next one. Next one, Sue. Okay. So basically, this is what will be covered. Yeah, in this Friday afternoon. Okay, first, there will be 5 things will be covered. The first one is the essentials of research. Okay, and number 2, format of a research article. Number 3, writing the sections, samples of articles. And number 5, if you have any question, and then inshallah, we can try to answer your questions. Yeah? Okay, next. Okay, before we begin, okay, I do not know who are here because I cannot see how many people are here listening to me, and I cannot see the names. How can I do that? Can I?
Data tengok dekat participant, list of participant kat bawah. Klik participant.
Okay, alright.
Uh, there are 35 so far.
Okay. Alright, so perhaps if there's any volunteer, okay, perhaps you can tell me a little bit of how it has been for you. Have you written any article, or what is stopping you from writing? Anybody would like to share what is stopping you from writing so far?
You can always unmute, yeah? Okay, is there anybody who would like to share? Probably Dr. Zakaria?
Hey,
Would you
Dr.
like to
Zakaria has written quite a number
Yeah.
of papers.
Yeah, his own experience probably.
Thank you. I say thank you.
Okay, every time, I'm sure all of you must have, plan to write a paper for Celpad or write a paper for yourself, But what, or it has never been your motivation to do so until recently?
That is Abaria, would you like to share probably?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum, Professor Doctor. Thank you very much. Actually, I have thoughts, but when we talk about a research, so my thinking, this one, it looks like more to academic things. So that's why I'm afraid to say my idea. What is in my thought? What is the thought? So at least, okay, just for sharing. I have an idea to actually compiling. Now it's compiling certain points lah. To talk about community engagement, CSR, the importance of this type of program to all staff, like that lah. Ya, Dr. Farida Al-Jamilah. And at the same time, in my thoughts, I want to talk about the Arabic language for admin staff, and it should be continuous, and it's a good activity, something like that lah, Doctor. Thank you.
Okay, Jazakallah, my Ustazah.
Okay,
that
perfect.
is
Jazakillah, perfect.
That's it.
Ahsanti.
Okay, anybody else? Just one more before, we can continue.
Kak Norma maybe? Yeah. Would you like to share? Kak Norma? Or our own Sister Nur Azza?
Madam Norma.
Yeah.
Or
our
would like to...
Sister Nur Azza?
Sister Nur Azza has written a few.
My sifu. Dr. Azza.
So nobody else want to share their thoughts, their story about writing an article for publication, apart from Datin Sabaria earlier? Okay, I think it's okay. I think later you can if you want to. But basically, Datin mentioned just now that when talking about research is very academic, right? Unlike what Ustazlah has shared previously, his is very creative writing kind of things, which maybe may appeal to some people, but to me, I find creative writing very difficult. And academic writing, of course, I am not really the best person to be talking about writing a research article, because if you look at my record, I have not written much you know, instead, if we look at I am, you know, I am nobody. I am so unproductive. But perhaps within Celpad, since I've been here quite a while, I have written quite a number of papers, and that is the reason why I think Sister Sohaila has approached me, yeah, to be sharing with you. But to me, you know, writing a research article is easier in the sense that there is a template that we can use. You know, there is a very very fixed template. So you just follow what the template is asking from you. Yeah, you just follow the template. So it's very black and white, and therefore to me and maybe to some of you, it is not as difficult as writing creatively. Yeah, so that is to begin with. So don't be put off by thinking that it's going to be hard, you know, because it's academic, it has to reach a certain standards. Of course, it has to have something worthwhile to be reported. Yeah, but as far as PET is concerned, we are not going to be very ambitious about it. Yeah, and that is the reason why we have revived our research unit, and we have changed it from coordinator of research to a head of research to promote research culture in Celpad. Yeah, and therefore, if you have not thought about writing a research article in the past, I think after listening to me today, hopefully you will be motivated, because I will tell you that it's not going to be that difficult. Yeah, I hope I will be able to erase that assumption in your mind that writing a research article is difficult, because you just have to try it, because the template is there, and you try it, and then inshallah, you'll be able to write an article without you realizing it. Okay, all right. So can we look at the next slide? Okay, so if you're writing research articles, these are the essentials components. Yeah, I'm sure you have. If you have not written any, I'm sure you have read some. Okay, and you will find all these components. Yeah, because if you are missing one of these, then the essential component of the article is going to be missing. Yeah, so you have to have the introduction, and then after that you will have the body, you have the conclusion, and of course the references. Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, and this is the format. Yeah, and in every research article you will find this. Yeah, first you must have the title, okay, and then abstracts and keywords, the introduction. Usually, sometimes the introduction is together with the literature review. Yeah, sometimes it is separate, but whatever it is, the introduction must include the background and also the literature review also. Yeah, and then we have the methodology. The next one will be the results and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, and references. Okay, so you must have this, yeah, in your article, then you know that this is a research article. Okay, next. Okay, so can you go to the earlier slide, please?
Okay.
Okay, all right. So of course, the title, it depends, of course, you want the title to be catchy, right? I mean, it's going to be interesting, so that sometimes you take a lot of time to think about what is the best title. And of course, the title has to reflect the content, right? And therefore, in research articles, there are certain ways of writing the title for your article. Yeah, you can see, usually it depends, and I can't really talk about it today. Yeah, but from the title, you can guess whether it's going to be qualitative paper or is it going to be quantitative. Yeah, if it's like qualitative, maybe like documenting an experience, so something like that, then you know it is qualitative paper. Yeah. And then if you look at maybe sometimes perceptions and sometimes experimental, experiment, then you know it's going to be quantitative. So the title will reflect the content. And if you are familiar with the research methodology, then perhaps you know right from the beginning what kind of paper that you'll be reading. Yeah, so it is important for you to choose the right title. Yeah. Okay, and then the second one is the abstracts and keywords. Okay, now we can move to the next slide. Okay, the abstract, usually, I remember when I was teaching my student, I would say, this is the last part that you'll be writing, right? You know about it already because it's going to be summarizing what the paper is about. Yeah, but sometimes, if you are thinking about, sending your publication to a journal or something, then usually we write the abstract first, even before we collect data and write the whole paper. Yeah. And sometimes, but again, if you have everything together, abstract usually will also be written last because, because you have to complete the research first, before you can report everything in the abstract. Yeah. So abstract is very helpful, yeah, because it's a summary of what the article is about. And because of that, okay, it has to be very clear and precise. Okay, and because people will not have any question about what the paper is about after reading your abstract, and they will decide whether they want to read on or not. Yeah, so usually these are the components that you have to have in your abstract. Yeah. Of course, we will start by having a little bit of a problem statement. Okay, and then after the problem statement, just maybe 1 or 2 line of background, and then you go straight to the problem. Yeah. And then because of the problem, then you go to the objective of the study. Yeah. After that, so with this objective, what methodology are you going to use? Yeah. And then that's the reason why you're going to be writing about the methodology used in the study. And after that, you will be reporting the findings, and the significance of the study will conclude your abstract. Yeah. So I think normally, I'm sure abstracts cannot be too long. Yeah. Normally it's just about 1 paragraph. Yeah. And if you look at some of the guidelines when you're writing your articles to journals, then they may say it's about not more than 200 words or 150 words. Yeah, usually this is the length of your abstract. So it's going to be very clear and very precise. Okay, so what is the background, and then what is the problem, and what do you intend to do? That is your research objective. And what methodology are you going to use? And what not what methodology you are going to use. Yeah, you have used, because this one usually we are reporting in the article, so we have already done the research. Yeah, and usually abstracts will be in the past tense usually, right? Because we reported what we have done. Unless you're sending the abstract to be accepted to be presented in a conference, then it will be in the future usually. Yeah, and this is when we have not carried out the research, so normally we don't know what to report, right? And sometimes in that case, perhaps the findings can be missed out. Okay, because we have not gotten the findings, yeah, the result yet. So, but maybe if you look at some abstracts, they may not report the findings yet, yeah. But the significance of the study has to be there. Okay, so what in it, so what you do the research for what? Okay, so usually when we do a research, we have to be able to answer the so what question. Yeah. So perhaps when in the abstract, we also, the significance will indicate the so what. Yeah. So you do this because of that. So people say, oh, okay. So that is the abstract. Yeah. So you just follow what is it, and then a general statement, and then the research gap, the problem, and then the research objective, the methodology, and then the findings, and then the significance. When you have all those components, then your abstract is completed. Yeah. Okay. So usually after the abstract, they expect you to have some keywords. Yeah. Okay. Can we look at the next slide, Sue? Okay. Okay, so usually when you have the abstract, and below the abstract you can see keywords. Yeah, normally they ask you not to have too many keywords, between 5 to 7. Then you have to choose, yeah, because this is going to be useful also for the librarian also, yeah, because they want, yeah, I mean for the research, I don't know that system that they use, they just go by keyword, then they will capture. So you have to think carefully of what keywords are going to be useful for your article, yeah, that appropriate for your research. So I think that is easy, yeah. Just say, oh, so these are the important keywords, because these are the ones that is going to be guiding your research. Yeah. Okay. So next. Okay. So after the keyword, then we go and start writing the article. Yeah. So of course we'll start with the introduction. Yeah. The introduction. Of course, we have to give some background, yeah, to the research that we are doing. Okay. Then perhaps we also need to tell why it is okay. If you look at the first one there, yeah, address the significance of the research and its implication. So basically, that is what the introduction is about. Yeah. So how are we going to address the significance and its implication? Okay. So then we will start by starting with the background of the research. Okay, and bringing the subject matter up to date. Yeah, to the present time. Yeah, so you set the setting of your research, and then okay, after that you will have to then explain the problem. Okay, so you can see, so you start by having a little bit explanation of the issues, okay, and the problem that is going to be tackled by your study, and then you are going to state your research objective. Yeah. So after you state your research objective, then usually you will go to the literature that has been written on the issue that you're going to be explaining, yeah, that you're going to do your research on. In the literature, then you have to find the research gap. Okay, of course. So this is because that will help you to show why your study is relevant, yeah, and significance of the study is based on the research gap. If you are only like repeating what people have done, then maybe that is not really a good reason why you should carry out the research. Yeah, so you must find the research gaps to give a reason, to justify why the research has to be conducted. Yeah, and after you have identified the research gap, then you spell out what is it that you're going to try to achieve in your study. Okay, so we have said, okay, so the background a little bit, and then looking at the issues, and then what is the research gap, and therefore you want to do this, then you explain the objective of your study. Yeah. After you have explained the objective of your study, then because this one, when you are writing the introduction, okay, the order can be is not very rigid, yeah, because it depends on how you will explain, you elaborate the ideas, but basically all these components have to be there. Yeah. Sometimes people have the research objective before the literature review. Yeah? Sometimes you have the literature review first, then you put the research objective. Yeah. So it depends, but it has to be linked nicely. Yeah. So later we will look at the examples. Yeah, which I have forgotten to show example for abstract earlier. But anyway, perhaps we can go back to the abstract. So sorry, because I was planning as I go along explaining each component, we will be looking at the example. So perhaps we can go back to showing the abstract for the English. This one. Maybe you can enlarge it. Okay. So I don't know how many words are there. Yeah. This is the abstract that you can see here. If you remember the components that have to be in the abstract, then you can see there. Okay, can you find the problem there? Okay, so this one is a very short abstract, but I think it has all the components, yeah? Okay, so Sue has highlighted that is the problem, yeah? So you just have two lines before that. Many advocate that a mastery of idioms is a reflection of native speakers' proficiency. While understanding idioms is an important part of language acquisition, a language reflects its culture. The interconnectedness between English idioms and Western culture may create uneasiness on some non-native learners as the usage of some idioms may not be in line with their value system. Okay, so that is the problem. Then, because of the problem, this article aims to highlight, okay, that is the objective, yeah? This article aims to highlight the presence of some English idioms which are not in line with the principles of Islam and hence may not be appropriate for Muslims to use. Okay, that is the objective, yeah? And then straight explain the study employed, okay, that is the methodology. The study employed a content analysis method in analyzing the idioms. And then the findings indicate the presence of English idioms, which include terms with reference to the cross and Christianity, equating men to dogs and pigs, as well as a positive image of alcohol, which are incongruent with Islamic principles. Hence, the need for Muslims to view English idioms critically. This study has pedagogical implications for teaching English to Muslim learners. Okay, so this one, the findings are there because this has been published. So obviously it has been done, yeah? And if you look at how the abstract is concluded, this study has pedagogical implications for teaching English to Muslim learners. This one is very general, yeah? Implication. So can you see, if I ask you, so what? Does it answer the so what question? This research is done because of what? Is it justifiable? Okay, so we look at how the idioms are being used, yeah, and how some idioms can be not Sharia compliant, you know, of course, because idioms, but idioms are important because it reflects the proficiency of the learners, and we always, you know, come across idioms in our teaching, yeah, and therefore, so what is the importance of this research? Can you see it from the abstract? Anyone?
The importance of understanding the learner's culture. Yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Farah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that is the intention, but it has not been written very clearly here, right? So I think so that is what I want to highlight here. Even this one is not really a perfect abstract, because that significance of the research is implied but not clearly stated. We understand, because we have to know this, and so we cannot just accept the idioms in English idioms at face value, because we have to be careful. We have to explain it to our learners sometimes, because the picture that has been painted by the idioms may not be congruent with the Islamic teaching. So even though it has most of the components, but I think the significance of the research is not really being made very explicit here, which we can improve this. So perhaps if we want to make it explicit, rather than just say this study has pedagogical implications for teaching and learning, maybe specify in what way. But I think this is good enough, I think, because of the limitation of words, so I am one of them also here, right? We don't want to be too long, and then we just concluded our abstract in this way, making it very general. Okay, so that is an example of abstract, Then we look at the introduction. Perhaps now we can go to the other examples.
Okay.
Look at the introduction. The introduction, the next one, Okay, so this one is a very short paper because that is the number of pages given to us in order for us to publish this in that journal. So if you can see here, the introduction, is very simple. Maybe you can read it together, I hope you can see. Okay, so basically it's a general information about how important English is, okay, and in general. And then in the second paragraph, how important English is, and then specifically to medical students. Okay, and then in the second paragraph, it explains a little bit the importance of being able to speak in English well, and then all the tasks and the communication skills, all the tasks when the students have to communicate, they have to, as medical students, what is going to happen if they cannot be communicating well with their lecturers, with their fellow students, and all those things. And later when they go out to work, then they may be communicating with senior consultants and things. So you can see how, so this is going specific on the communication needs of medical students. So you can see that we are not talking about the doctors yet. We are talking about those who are learning to become doctors. So there's a lot of pressure. If you look at paragraph number 3 there. So all in all, the pressure on medical students to interact effectively in oral form is immense, in addition to the need to be knowledgeable on the content. Many medical students appear to be timid and shy to open their mouth to speak, as they are embarrassed by their poor command of English and are not able to articulate effectively their needs and concerns. Okay, this has important implications to their learning and could lead to clinically subpar medical graduates in the future. Thus, it is important to investigate. Okay, so that is the problem statement earlier. So, because of this problem, it is important to investigate the English oral needs of medical students and assess the extent of problem that they face when trying to communicate with their peers, subordinates, and superiors, especially in the formative clinical years. So specifically, the study seeks to answer the following research questions. How do medical students perceive the importance of oral skills in their studies and future careers? To what extent do these medical students face problems in oral communication? So you can see, okay, you just explain a little bit of the background, why it is important in general, and then for medical student, it is important, but this is what is happening to some of them, okay? So they find it difficult to speak, they are embarrassed, they are timid, they are not confident, you know. Because of that, if they don't improve their communication skills, then they may not be able to perform well in their studies and also in their future careers. So that is the problem, and because of that, you decide to do a research with these research questions, to answer this research question. Okay, then we go on to the next part. Okay, then there comes the literature review. Okay, this is the literature review. Okay, this one not many, okay, because of the limitation of the pages given to us. But if you look at the last paragraph, so okay, here, yeah, it is evident. Can you go to that part? It is evident. Okay, there, yeah. It is evident from the studies above that academic performance of these medical students whose English is not their mother tongue seem to be affected by their English language ability. Okay, so this is what can be concluded from the literature that you have read. Okay, so it's like you are concluding that statement to bring back the connection of this literature back to your research objective. Okay, so you have to make the connection. If it's just reporting what people have done previously, then it is not enough. Yeah, so you have to bring back the literature to the research gap you have found earlier and the reason why this study has to be conducted. Yeah. So from the literature, we know that if your English is not very good, then perhaps that is going to be affecting, yeah, your academic performance in your medical schools, and because you will not be able to communicate well. Yeah. This study is to determine if medical students in Malaysian institutions are also affected by this lack of proficiency, specifically lacking of oral proficiency, bearing in mind that the majority of these students scored high in their English examination. Yeah? The fact that not much research has been done locally on this subject area also increased the need for this study. So from the literature, we have identified the research gap, yeah, because not many studies have been done, and because medical students in Malaysia are normally the chosen ones, yeah, they're very good in their SPM, and that is the reason why, you know, because in other areas, in other countries, especially when English is not their mother tongue, they seem to be lacking in their speaking skills, in their communication skills. So the study wanted to find out whether it's the same with the medical students in Malaysia. Yeah. So so you can see that is the introduction. Who thinks that it is difficult to write the introduction? Still, after looking at this example. So basically, okay, whatever that we are saying in our abstract is going to be followed through in our introduction. Okay. So if, you know, they are all connected from one part to the other, then inshallah, you know, it's going to be very clear, very straightforward. So you have to be very clear of what is it that you're going to report. And because you have carried out the study, then you are the one who is very clear of what is it that you have done. And therefore, with that in mind, you know, having this template, it will help you to guide your thoughts, yeah, and precisely, so that you will not have to be writing something irrelevant or not necessary. You know, you just go by the components that should be there. Then inshallah, you will not be writing something not supposed to be there. So it's very straightforward. Okay, so the introduction part is done now. Okay, so let's move to the methodology, I suppose. Yeah, Sue?
Here, doctor, methodology.
Methodology, all right.
The slides or the
Yeah,
sample?
the slide, please.
The slides. Okay.
Okay, so the methodology, because as I mentioned right from the beginning, we are not going to be writing a PhD thesis, yeah, because this one is just a beginner's guide to writing a research article. So we are not going to expect much. Okay, of course you can be as ambitious as you want, but as I said, this is pitched at a very low level, yeah, for people who have never written a research paper before. So for your research methodology part, okay, so first usually you have to understand your research design, yeah. So here, I think number 2 should go first, yeah. The methods there is referring to the research design. Is it going to be quantitative? Is it going to be qualitative? Okay, is it going to be a survey research? Is it going to be an experimental research? Yeah, is it going to be a textual analysis, content analysis? Okay, so all those is the research design. Okay, that is written there as methods. Yeah, and so I'm sorry, it should be number 1. Yeah, and then once you have identified what is the research design that you have employed in your study, then you will write the steps, the procedures, yeah. Because let's say if you have decided that it is a survey research, yeah. So how are you going to develop the questionnaire? How is the questionnaire distributed to your respondents? How, what does the questionnaire contain? Okay, all those things. That would be the procedures and steps. And then instruments, okay, that one, because it's a survey, yeah, that would be the tool that you use. But sometimes you are employing experimental design, maybe you need some instruments. I do not know, maybe most of us don't need that much instruments, yeah. Our kind of research doesn't require many instruments, maybe labs or whatever machine and things like that, yeah. So you can leave that out if it's not relevant. And then the theoretical framework, okay, maybe it is important if you are writing your PhD and things, yeah, because then of course it has to be supported by theories. If you have a research like what I have shown earlier, like I am just doing a survey on medical students, oral needs, yeah. So what is the theories there? I did not really include the theories there. So if you have a theory, that is specific to the study that you're doing, of course you have to include it, yeah. So but for the study that I have showed you earlier, there was no theory mentioned. So this is optional, yeah. So if you're worried because okay, I look at the question there, yeah. What is the difference between theoretical framework and conceptual framework? Okay. Theoretical framework are the theories that are applicable to your research. Okay. And the conceptual framework is much more than just the theories. Okay. Maybe if I can share in my previous thesis, okay, in my previous thesis, I only wrote one thesis. Okay, I don't have, because I'm looking at the listening and also combining metacognitive strategies on listening comprehension, yeah. So when I come up with the theoretical framework, I am looking at the listening theories, okay, and then I'll be looking at all those theories like one of them is how metacognition is being applied when you are listening. Yeah? So that I also look at metacognitive strategies, metacognition theories, and then listening comprehension theories from forgotten already. So very specific, looking at theories that are connected to your study. Yeah. For the conceptual framework is more like, okay, I am doing an experiment. Yeah. So in that conceptual framework, I am putting together how my theories is being applied in my experiment. Okay. And then what is the outcome that I believe is going to be yielded from the experiment that I do. So in my conceptual framework, I have the theories, I have the experimental design, and then I also have the IV, the DV. So the conceptual framework is more comprehensive. Yeah. So if I was to answer your question, that is my understanding how they are different. Okay. But for the purpose of writing an article at Celpad level, perhaps if we don't have the theory, it's okay. Yeah, because our kind of research usually very much action-oriented research. Yeah, because when we observe our students, we see, oh, okay, maybe I want to try these new things in my class to see it will work better or not. Yeah, so we are not really into all the theories. Yeah, well, of course, if we have, by all means, put it there. But for at our level, if you want your article to be published by Celpad, if you don't have the theory, then it's okay. I think it depends. Yeah. But don't be put off because you don't have the theory. Yeah, because sometimes we don't need to have the theory there. Yeah, explicitly, to be included in our article. So that is what I'm trying to get at. Because sometimes kita tak tahu the theory, yeah, where is the theory? But if we really follow, then eventually we'll find the theory that is going to explain what we are doing. Yeah? But it will take longer. Okay, so of course, okay, you have to make sure, you get the permission from your students if you want to do a research on them and all those things, the ethical things that you have to adhere to, yeah. So that is, that I'm sure you know that already, yeah. So before we do anything, with our students, make sure that we get the consent form. And we have to report this in our methodology as well, yeah. Usually. Okay, so next. Okay, so after the methodology, then you know how you're going to collect your data because you have explained it in your methodology section, okay? So then you just do what you have planned in your methodology, yeah? So am I going to carry out a survey research, then develop the questionnaire, and go and collect and then find who are going to be your respondent and all those things, then you carry that out, then you will have data that you will be collecting. And also, okay, before you explain your data, then of course in your methodology also, you will explain how your data is going to be analyzed, yeah, which was left out in the methodology section earlier, yeah. You also explain the analysis that will be done in order for you to make sense of the data that you collect. Yeah, so you must have thought about that also. Yeah, in your methodology. Okay. Then you come to the writing the results and discussion section. Okay, it depends on the kind of research that you have conducted. Okay, sometimes if it's quantitative, perhaps you want it to be presented in graphs, tables, models, if you're coming up with new models, other graphic elements you see fit. And sometimes if we are doing qualitative, then perhaps you will just share the relevant quotations that you have collected from your respondents, yeah, and all those things. So it depends on the kind of research that you do. So a lot of things here. So if you can look at my paper earlier just now on the medical students who
Okay.
look at the results. Yeah. This one is very simple. It's just a table, yeah, because it's based on a questionnaire and look at the frequency only. So this one is a very simple analysis. So that's the reason why I said earlier, I am not very good actually, yeah. So I can't handle complicated stuff, research that requires statistical analysis, you know. So I'm sure many of you are much better, more knowledgeable in that sense, yeah. In my PhD long time ago, the best that I could manage is t-test, you know. So that is very basic. Now there are so many other more complicated analysis, you know, that you can use, which of course it is very alien to me. But the reason why I have chosen this article is to show you that you don't have to be thinking that it's going to be hard to analyze the data. Like for me here, this is a very simple data representation of data using a table and just a frequency. But this article was accepted. I'm not to be showing off, but this is a Scopus article. Yeah, the only one so far that I have managed to do. But you know, so don't think that it's going to be very hard. You know, this table, it depends, yeah, on what is it, what is the purpose of the research, and if your objective is just to find out whether they have any problems with their oral or not based on their perception, then I think this kind of table is sufficient enough. Yeah. So this one is very simple. Perhaps if the professor from other kuliah look at this, they kata, alah, very simple ni kan paper. But you know, you don't have to be difficult if you don't have to. Okay, so that is what I'm trying to share here. Okay, so don't think it's going to be very difficult. If you collect a survey, okay, survey data, then if you think frequency is good enough, you know, so go to the very basic. That is sufficient. Okay, so we can see it answers the research question. Yeah, so that is the most important thing. So don't think that you have to analyze it using statistical tests that are more complicated. Yeah, because sometimes it's not necessary for you to do that. So because but what I'm trying to say is that, you know, don't be discouraged when you are going for your data analysis. Sometimes, you know, the most simple way of representing your data is the best for you, yeah, for that research that you do. And I believe for our kind of research that we do in Celpad, you know, we don't really have to go very complicated. So, and if you know a little bit of statistics, maybe we always look at correlation, you know, how our Band 6 students correlate with, you know, all those things. I think very simple kind of test that we will be employing. So, you know, it is possible. So that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, it is possible. So we can start by doing something simple first. Yeah. All right. But of course, if you are doing your PhD, this is not sufficient. Okay. Because this one is so basic. Of course, it's not sufficient. It must be supported with more a robust tests. You know, if because you want to bring something noble, yeah, something that has not been done, because you want to shift the border of knowledge. Of course, this one is very simple and very basic kind of research. which I think is sufficient if you were to write article for Celpad. Yeah. Okay. And then the conclusion. Yeah, we have come to the conclusion part. Discussion. Sorry. The discussion. Okay. Of course, when we present the results, we have to make it significant. Yeah, how is these results? How are these results significant? Okay, meaningful. How are you going to make this result meaningful? So you have to go back to your literature review and your research gap. Of course, the result should be answering your research question. Okay, and therefore, you have to show how your research questions are answered by the results that you have collected, by the data that you have collected. Okay, so make the connection very clear. Okay, so like if you look at Sue, sorry Sue, go back to the results and discussion on my paper again.
All right. Okay, Doctor.
Okay, so you can see the results show that the students place presentation, okay, in conferences seminar to be the highest in the list of oral tasks that the students, okay. So, and this one because it's not using, what is it that we are using? The APA, yeah? So you can see this is how I connect it back to my literature review, yeah? The same finding is found in some other studies, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, this one, I don't know what is the system that is using for the referencing here. You know, so these numbers are referring to the references cited. So if you look at the references list later, then you can see. So we compare our findings with the findings of other research before. Yeah. So you can see as for the same findings found in some other studies. As for the lesser importance given to using English, okay, can we look at the rest of the discussion?
Is this the one, Doctor?
Yeah. So you can see there is another reference to the reference, yeah. So 3, 4, 10 there. All those. Can somebody tell me what is the referencing style being used here? I've forgotten already because I wrote this a long time ago, yeah. But obviously you know that is not APA. So because APA, then you can see all the names there. So anyway, so in the discussions, basically, we are going to show how these findings answer or not answering your research questions and how do they compare with the previous studies that have been conducted by other people. Yeah. So, original result should be presented. Okay, so of course, we cannot use other people's result. Yes, it has to be original, and you have to make sure these are correct. Okay, and logical, and that you have to show how they compare with the other research and show how they are similar and how they are different, or maybe there are interesting things that you found in your research that has not been reported in other studies. That is very good for you because then you have more to say, right?
Dr. Farida, I think Sister Nur Azza suggested that it is IEEE reference style. I'm
Okay.
not sure. Yeah. Yes.
Because it's Hazizi Harun. You see, her husband. So anyway, yeah, thank you, Azza. Okay, because I've forgotten what is the style is being used there. So anyway, so when you are discussing, basically you just show, okay, maybe you explain why your findings are like that, okay, and then you compare and contrast with findings of others, and then perhaps you conclude by going back to the what is it, yeah? So go back to, okay, so you have already explained how they answer your research questions, okay, and then whether the answers are very clear or not, or sometimes the answers can be different from what we expect, okay, and that is the reason why you have to compare to what previous research have found out, yeah, doing the similar things. And then if you find interesting that results, you know, that you want to highlight and how it is relevant to your situation, your kind of environment that you are in. So this is the time when you can bring that up, yeah, in your result and discussion. So you have to be a little bit creative here, yeah, because sometimes maybe our discussions are all similar. I mean, the results seem to be the same as what have been found in the previous studies. Yeah. So perhaps then it's not going to be very exciting. Yeah. But so every time when we look at results, we are praying very hard that there may be something different. Yeah, that we will discover, which we are going to, you know, make it relevant to our context and our setup. Yeah, basically. So the result and discussion, the meanings to all these findings, yeah, to your context, basically. So that can be the conclusion of your results and discussion, yeah. But then you come to your conclusion. So that is the best part, because by the time you come here, then you know that you don't have much to write anymore because you have come to the conclusion. So as we know, conclusion is bringing everything together. Yeah. So basically, you will start your conclusion by summarizing your research findings. Yeah. And then the research outcome. So you have found it. So what? So what to do next? So basically, what is the relevance of this information to you? Yeah. So so that is the research outcome, and maybe the implication of research. Basically, that is the same thing. Yeah. So the implication. So if from my study earlier, I found that students, medical students of IUM, forgotten what is my conclusion. But so you will have to suggest for improvement, yeah, suggestions for improvement. So you have found that this is the situation with the medical students in terms of how they perceive their communication skills are, and therefore you will try to help or improve the situation by coming up with suggestions. Yeah. And so if we go back, if we go to the conclusion part of the paper, so
Okay.
because I really have forgotten what I wrote. So sorry, because it is written. So okay, reports on a study to investigate ESL medical students' perception on the importance of English oral skill in their current studies and professional career. On the whole, it is clear that these students were well aware of the importance of English for success in both domains. Most of these students also reported that they did face problems when communicating orally in English. With reference to the question, okay, so we concluded that they still face problems, yeah, even though they are good students, their English are very good already, okay, but most of the students reported that they were still facing problems. So the question just now, do need help? Medical students do need help with their English oral skills. In the case of IUM, no formal English course is currently offered to students studying medicine, most probably due to constraints of timetabling. It is therefore necessary that IUM reviews its curriculum with regard to English so that necessary measures can be taken to provide help for students who are facing problems with their English proficiency, so as to ensure that medical students are not inhibited by the lack of oral. So, so that is the implication, yeah, to the university, to Celpad. basically. So this one, as I said, yeah, it's very simple. I just want to find whether IM medical students do face problems with regards to their oral skills. And I carried out a survey, and from what they reported, it seems that some of them are still reporting to have problems. And because they have problems, then therefore, we should help them so that they will improve their communication skills, so that they will be able to perform well in their studies and also in their future careers. So and the last point is the limitation of the study. Yeah. This one sometimes, if you feel that the study has a lot of limitations, then perhaps you can also mention it. Yeah. But sometimes if you look at some articles, they don't have this limitation mentioned. Yeah. But this is optional. Yeah. But I think here, as usual, we say that when it's a survey, it is only based on perceptions, then it is limited in that way. Yeah. So if we want to get the real information, then to have a more comprehensive view on this issue, then perhaps we can supplement our survey with interviews and asking the lecturers and all those things, yeah, which is normal when you are conducting a survey research. So I think that's the end, right? So
Yes. Yeah.
do I have anything else below that?
Just the work cited.
Okay, of
and,
course,
yeah.
you have to give credits to whoever ideas and findings that you have reported in your literature review. Okay, so you have to make sure that you say thank you by citing them properly, and also to make sure that you don't plagiarize their work. Yeah, so then the rest of the slides are just samples of research articles, yeah, which I think I already shared some of them, and there are another two there that have not been shared. The other one is the qualitative article, Yasu.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
this one. This one. The qualitative article I've already shared. The
Okay.
textual analysis, yeah.
The textual, yes.
By Dr. Rauda Tul, yeah. That one, that is textual. So that one is not really, I have not written any article like this. Yeah, so I don't know much to comment, but it is there. Later, if you want to look at it, yeah, perhaps some of you this kind of article is more appealing to some of you, perhaps then you can, look at this. And the last one
is the SLR.
Oh, okay, the systematic literature review. Okay, so sometimes even if you do not have any research conducted, you can still write a paper, yeah, as evident here. Okay, here is just a systematic literature review. So just a literature review, of the status of the art, of a certain subject matter. So you can also do that, yeah. And if it's comprehensive enough, then you can get published. So just some samples, to whet your appetite so that you see that it is not that hard. Yeah, I'm sure if you try it, inshallah, you'll be able to write. And you can choose which one that you like best and try to go for it. Yeah, and so I really don't know whether I have helped you in any way at all. As I said, I'm not the best person, but I'm just sharing, with the intention to encourage you and Celpad staff who have not written any article before, because having an article in your APA is going to help you a lot, especially if you are trying to get the merit-based promotion. If not, for your bonus in your APA, okay, which is going to help you a lot. So please, after this, try to, maybe if you don't want to work individually, get a few people together, think of the problems that you have maybe you can start by looking at the problems that your students are facing. I'm sure you have introduced a lot of things, that work well with your students, and just think about it a little bit more, and then now you know the template of a research article, and try to fill up all those sections. And inshallah it is a process writing. And you have to work at it, and keep on revising it, and eventually it will be completed, and you will be able to write an article, your first article.
MashaAllah, Doctor. We really learn a lot from you. You are being very humble.
Well, I'm so within these 2 years of my tenure here, we really want to publish as much as possible. The reason is because I've been the director for 3 months, and I feel that many people out of Celpad, within the IUM community, feel that Celpad is not significant. Okay, so we have to show them, even though we don't have grants, we don't have all those privileges, given to the people, but we can still be productive. We can still write research articles. We can still, produce textbooks. That is what I hope to be able to see, coming from all my friends here in Celpad. So if we publish, books, even though it is e-book and all those things, and it is based on research, perhaps then you will see that we are not just, idling away here, just teaching. We're not doing anything else. That is, the hope, the wish that I have right now, so that they can see that even though we are not kuliah, but we do publish books, we do write, we are actively writing, and later, perhaps, if you want to go and present, perhaps even though we don't really have the money, but if we think that you should be presenting your paper is very good, and you can still try to get some financial support from Celpad. But usually for research and publication, maybe it doesn't really cost that much. Sometimes we can just get it published without any fee, so we can that is the best. So we don't really have to go and present it, because attending seminars may be requiring you to pay. But sometimes getting it published may not be that expensive. But whatever it is, because we are trying to encourage people to write, okay, so perhaps we can try to give as much support as possible, to get the culture developed, in our center.
Thank you,
Right.
Doctor. So
Okay.
we will move on to the Q&A session. So far, we have 2 in the chat box.
Okay.
So it's from Sister Nur Azza. Salam, Dr. Farid. Do you have
Mhm.
any suggestion for which journal to publish our articles? Fast publication and not too expensive.
If you ask the people at the research, apa tu? research office, bukan Suhaila ni, the apa nama dia? What is it called? So
Research Management Center.
research center, they really encourage you to get it published in any of the MindSight journals. Yeah, and you can see there are a lot of journals that may be applicable to us. Yeah, language people. Yeah, because that will be considered as index journal, so you have more points for your publication. Yeah, so that if you are thinking about publishing it in a journal. Yeah, but for Celpad, perhaps we are right now collecting as many articles as possible so that we can publish it under Celpad Press. Okay, so it can be a real physical books or e-book. So perhaps the requirements may not be as high as getting it published in MindSight journal. Yeah, but of course you should aim high, go for MindSight, or if not, go to Scopus. But the writer doesn't really think about it is the Scopus and all those things. Yeah, he's not into ranking. So maybe then we don't really have to go through so much trouble, trying to get into that kind of journal. As long as we have enough chapters so that we can publish our e-book, for now, that is already good enough for Celpad.
Inshallah. Thank you, Doctor. And she has a second question. Generally, for a qualitative research article, how long is the process from deciding the title of the article to finalizing the write-up of the article? So, how long?
You know the answer. I don't know. Are you saying about how long would the publisher, the journal?
Probably, Doctor, she is asking the writing process, like from thinking of the title until writing the references. So how long should it take for her to finish a qualitative article? How long should the time frame be that should be fair for her?
If you ask me, I think I need 3 months or maybe 1 year. Well, I have no idea, Azah, because I have never written a qualitative paper. Perhaps Sue can help answer the question. But I think if you have all the information and you have, you are clear of the methodology, then I think it depends on how much time you are willing to spend on writing the paper, right? So that is a very general answer, but I think it's applicable to all kind of writing. Yeah, because I don't think qualitative paper will take longer or shorter than writing a quantitative paper. Yeah, because if you decide to write, then I believe you have collected the data. Yeah, you have collected the data, and therefore it's up to you to spend how long to work on it to get it done, and keep to your timeline. If you were like me, then of course it will not be completed within the stipulated time, because I take forever. So it depends how badly you want it to be finished.
Thank
So
you,
it's very-
Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Farid, for answering the two questions. Now, I will stop sharing, and probably if any of our audience here would like to ask, feel free to unmute your microphone. Okay, and probably you would like to be on camera as well. And this is the opportunity to ask Dr. Farida. If not, she's a very busy person. It's very hard to catch her. Yes.
Okay. May I say something? Okay, Masya Allah. Today, you instill more motivation to all of us. Okay, actually for me personally, memang impossible lah to do individually. But let's say I'm interested to join any team members. But the thing here, doctor, first, maybe they think I am not occupied, tak berapa okay kot to join the team. Jadi tak adalah team yang ajak saya. So second one, I want to ask about the, I can say that based on your writing, Professor Dr. Engku tu dan Dr. Khairiyah, and I can see that if a good team, then the result will be great lah. So sekarang ni, what is the tip that you can share with us to have these great team members and how to avoid the unfair? Maksud I like this. Kan terlampau orang ke or 3 persons in one team members, and then nak mengelakkan orang tu your friend tu macam do little things and the rest have to think more. So like that lah, doctor. Is it understood with my broken
Yes,
English?
I
Thank you.
think
Thank you.
is Dr. Liza here?
Yes, she
Yes, I'm
answered.
here.
Yeah.
Dr. Liza,
Rita.
perhaps you can help answer the question by Datin tadi.
Oh, what was the question? Team members, eh?
How do you divide the work? How do you make sure that everybody is doing their equal share of
Yeah.
writing?
Okay.
Bayang,
I'm not prepared for this, but I can perhaps share some of my experiences doing it. Yeah. Datin.
welcome. Almost welcome.
Okay, basically, from my experience doing this, but I've not written much either. But I think it comes from us, ourselves from within. It's like first, whether we like doing it or not, right? And then, because we know that somehow it is not our KPI, but at the same time, we like doing it, but because we know that at the end of the day, it may benefit us in terms of merit base and all that. Yeah? Of course, it's for our self-satisfaction and also for our career path. Talking about people who can work with us, yeah, from my experience, it depends on who the people with us, our circle of friends sometimes because we have the same interests. Because for me, it started when I was doing my studies. So, I had the opportunity to publish with my lecturers at the kuliah, right? So things like that. But then when we came back here, finish our studies, we had friends who, hey, this one is a data, this is a good data lah. This is a good data. Come, let's write. So basically, kita kena motivate each other. We have to motivate each other and we have the same interest and we look at this data actually very interesting and then it's manageable, it's practical like Farida said kita kadang-kadang kita tak nak tengok benda yang very difficult kan. So this one is workable and it is very Celpad punya because the data is everywhere. This is Celpad's data and we want it to be on paper and then to be published in things like that. So basically kita kena ada our circle of friends who are have the same interest. So and then kita kena push each other. We are very busy. We have work to do. So we have to make a point that perhaps after work, like meeting online, things like that. Sometimes we do. Come on, this Friday, this Saturday, let's do half day online, and we do it on OneDrive. We do together something like that. So it can be done, insyaAllah. And memang dia perlukan sedikit pengorbanan. Kan? Tapi at the end of the day, ada. So when we do it, kalau seorang memang difficult. So kalau 3, 2, sometimes 4 orang, and then we push each other, we motivate each other. So basically, that can you jangan fikir, oh I may not contribute. Sebab sometimes I pun macam tu. Tapi the other member akan push. Cakap kena habiskan something like by this time macam tu lah. So kita tapi memang kena ada team lah, I would say.
Yeah.
Itulah from my experience. Thank you.
I'm motivated with Dr. Farida, Masya Allah. So the thing is,
Hmm.
I mentioned earlier, still waiting, mungkin ada yang I can say that senior lah. Sebab I have to learn from him or from her. Jadi macam I myself, I want to be part of the researcher. Cumanya I tak ada ability to start. So at least macam kalau ada yang senior tu dia akan buat like this.
Okay,
So
Datin, you memang selalunya so humble like this. So,
Hmm.
but you have a lot of ideas. So, I think,
but
okay,
even
maybe then Sue is the head of research. I think she has opened her door kan for people to come in to have a discussion. Yeah, please. And if you want to, I think Sue, you should arrange sessions when people after this, if they want to develop their research ideas, perhaps you can have brainstorming sessions. Yeah. Maybe after this, you can start thinking about what do I want to share, about my teaching and learning. Datin, perhaps because you have already taught taught me, in that class, there is going to be something very interesting to write about. How the experience of teaching Arabic to real beginners. So we just have to maybe look at some articles that people are writing on the same thing, and then we'll have some ideas, what kind of things. And so basically, I think perhaps you can start thinking about what area that we want to research on, okay? The topic of our research. What is it? So you look at what you are interested in. Are you interested in teaching, beginners? You are teaching speaking or reading and all those things. So you can start thinking about that. And then you look at your class, I think for Datin, she has won, best teacher award and all those things. Then perhaps you can document this, all the best practices. So it's going to be more like qualitative paper, which people can learn from you sharing that in writing. Yeah. So there are a lot of things that you can write about. Even without doing a research, you already have that content for your article.
So inshallah, I will put Datin Sabaria in my calendar. Probably I will call her for a discussion, and anyone who's interested to come up with a research paper.
Yes.
Yeah.
And perhaps later the session with Dr. Liza will be looking at topics ke, Su?
Yes, Dr. Liza, would you like to say anything? I will not like to.
Okay, tak nak,
give a sneak peek.
tak nak reveal lah. We don't want to disclose.
Tapi itulah
I wait for her first. Yeah.
InsyaAllah lah. I think that's why from what Dr. Farida has presented kan tadi, perhaps mine would go into macam what are the possible topics yang within the Celpad lah kita punya. Kan hopefully it will be itulah macam practical lah, hopefully, and then it's close to our heart, insyaAllah.
True, Dr. Liza. We are looking forward to that session because we don't know what to write. You see? Yeah. Yes, we do have time. Puan Hazizi Harun.
Still,
yeah, we do have time, and do give us your article, and if you need any extension, you can always discuss. Yeah, inshallah we try, but by December we need to have it like published really, inshallah.
So you can see, some of the names, some have already written, but some have not written anything. So please, when I am still the director, I want to see you publish at least Celpad Press, because we have Celpad Press, and we have already obtained the, we know how to get ISBN already and all those things. So now we are waiting for the articles from you. Okay. So inshallah, we'll be publishing one. This is the product of the IIS the other day. Okay, it has been long overdue, and we are planning to have at least another one next year, early in the year. So start thinking about it seriously. Okay, don't think that it's going to be that hard. It's not, So, but you just have to start. Yeah. So we want you to stand, and if you need any help, or just talk to us. Okay, you can talk to me, you can talk to Suhaila, and to some people who think you just have to open your mouth and show that you are interested, and inshallah we will point you to the right direction. Yeah, because that is also my KPI to make sure that Celpad is actively contributing in writing. Yeah.
Amin. InsyaAllah.
Amin. So, inshallah, I would like to take this platform as well to inform everyone here. You might want to present at the coming conference. Inshallah, I will ask for Dr. Farida and Dr. Liza's guidance whether they want to make it big, medium, or small. So, here we want our staff to come and present. And honestly, I'm at the beginner's level, so I can offer you advice on the beginner's level. But if you have any difficult question, I will forward it to Dr. Liza and Dr. Farida. They are more experienced in answering research questions. But this is a platform for us, for beginners. So, conference and the ebook is for us as beginners.
Yeah, not just to me or to Dr. Liza, we also have Dr. Nani, all the doctors, they must have experience writing. So perhaps they are also willing to help in any way, I think. Yeah. So please, take this as a challenge. I mean, make Kakak Faridah ni,
Kakak
see that,
Farida, kita kena ada KPI berapa at the end of next year, berapa banyak.
Kita at least this year, the end of the year, one ebook kan. Lepas tu next year another ebook. But we can have 2 volumes.
Ya, betul. Kan?
So as many, but at least 2 publications, this year and next year.
Yeah.
Inshallah, inshallah.
InsyaAllah, amin.
Inshallah, amin. So Alhamdulillah, we have reached an end, and it's a very beautiful session. Thank you everyone for being here. All right, and I hope that we have more sessions where it can benefit all of us to produce more. So the link is there, but it's open until 5. But if you need any help, please inform me. Yeah? All right. So we will end this session with Suratul As, inshallah. All right. Thank you, everyone. And really, I hope to see you all again. Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Dr.
Salam.
Farida.
Thank you, Dr.
everyone.
Farida. Thank you